This is intro take number 4. So the first one was great. There was no problem with the first one, but I forgot to introduce myself. The second one, I kept on changing this around. Here, I'm gonna do a little montage. No, I look like a babushka. I look like a pirate now.
3 hours later.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready. Okay, and then the third one, I don't know, it just made me cringe. So this is the 4th intro take. So, I'm Alina. I live in Australia. I'm 19 years old, and I'm a Christian. I'm a child of God. I follow God to the best of my abilities and trust in Him always, or at least I try to. And I want to speak on a topic that is quite controversial and a topic that is quite sensitive for some, but that topic is lust. I think lust is a sin we all struggle with, and it's a tricky one. There's a lot of I think there's a lot of misconception around what lust is and why it's a sin, why you should be waiting for marriage as a Christian and as a non-Christian. So yeah, I just wanted to cover those things. First of all, why you should wait till marriage, and then how you should wait till marriage, because it's not very easy. So lust is the only sin that we commit in the flesh. Sins like greed or anger or selfishness, they can come out, verbally, but mostly we commit them, in our minds. Like we might judge someone, or we might do something that benefits us and only us. Those things aren't sins in the flesh, but lust is specifically a sin that happens in the flesh. And it might be, for that reason, one of the hardest sins to conquer, depending on, I think everyone struggles with different things, but for me personally, it was, I'd say, one of the hardest things I've struggled with. And it's definitely been a journey with that one. So number 1, why should you wait till marriage? And especially, in our generation, it's 2025 and no one's waiting till marriage. I remember back in high school, the youngest I heard of someone losing their virginity was 14, which is quite young. And I remember even at the time I was quite shocked. I wasn't a Christian back in high school, but I was quite shocked by that. And I fear that it's only getting more popular in a way, and more normalized, to be starting that at such a young age and not to be waiting till marriage. So yeah, as a Christian, I am waiting till marriage. Just to be transparent, I haven't always waited till marriage. Before I was a Christian, I had committed some sexual acts, not the whole thing, but some sexual acts, and I think I'll leave it at that. But since I've turned my life to God and given my life to Christ, I am waiting till marriage fully. So why should you? Why should you wait till the ring is on your finger? I'm not married. This is just a ring that I wear. Why should you wait? Why should you wait till marriage? Why shouldn't you wait, maybe a couple of years, a couple of months? Even if you're not part of hookup culture, or even if it's not crazy every weekend or whatever, why should you be waiting until your wedding day? As Christians, we believe that marriage isn't just like a document, or just a kind of government document that you sign, like a legal document, or a financial exchange. We as Christians believe that marriage is a covenant, and a covenant basically means a promise, and our covenant goes to God, and our promise is that we promise to be together forever. We promise to be faithful to each other and center our relationship on God. We promise to love each other fully, and it's that last bit, it's the loving each other that's most important when it comes to waiting till marriage. When you think about sex, it usually is, the first thing that might come to mind is pleasure for yourself, not pleasure for, you know, the person you're having sex with. And that's what lust is. Lust isn't something, you don't lust after someone or feel lustful when you really want to pleasure someone. You feel lustful when you want to get that pleasure. You want it for yourself. You want someone to do something to you, for you. It's never a giving thing, but it's always a receiving. And so as Christians, we are called to give love. And we are called to give that love to just our partner, our husband, our wife. Because for us, sex isn't just, you know, kind of like an experience you do for fun, for short-term pleasure, but it's an emotionally bonding experience and something that really draws you and your partner together. And, you know, that doesn't only apply to Christians, that applies to non-Christians as well. Like before I was a Christian, as I said, I was intimate with a boy that I dated, and although it didn't get that far, it got far enough that after our breakup I was really, really, really hurt and really upset. And I'm not saying that if you abstain and then you broke up you wouldn't be upset. You absolutely still would be upset, but you know, being that vulnerable with each other and having that experience together is really quite bonding, emotionally bonding. And that's why after we broke up, I was really suffering heartbreak and just like hurt. And I felt like, you know, I lost a piece of my heart and I lost a piece of myself. So yeah, that was tricky. And I think that is something that a lot of you might have experienced as well. I have heard of, you know, lots of girls saying, you know, I just, you know, like just regretting the sex that they've had with people, or regretting giving themselves to boys that, you know, didn't deserve it, or boys that treated them poorly. And, you know, that just, it might be all fun and games, and, you know, it might just be all fun and games. It just hurt a little bit that we broke up, that he treated me badly, whatever. But once you do get married, or once you do get in a long-term relationship, you will feel those effects of all the partners you've had, sexual partners. You'll feel like, oh, I kind of wish I experienced all of this with this person that I love, not just this person that I was sexually attracted to. So as Christians, we do wait till marriage because we believe that sex is something to be experienced by a wife and a husband. We believe that it's not just lust when you're having sex, but it's actually love. It's a form of giving love, a form of receiving love, and it's, as I said before, a covenant and a promise to God. Now I'm going to pull up some Bible verses. Woo! I have NIV, and actually this isn't like an updated NIV. This is 1978, which is kind of crazy. Okay, we're going to Hebrews 13:4. There's this joke in my Bible study, because we all have different Bibles, and you know, each book is on a different page for everyone. But there's this joke going around that like, oh, okay, we're going to Hebrews, whatever, like it's number 666 for me, page number 666, and then everyone's like, no, it's actually not, it's like 500 or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty funny. You should have been there in the moment. But yeah, Hebrews 13:4. There you go. Marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral. Yeah, marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure. Now, another moment, another verse where it talks about the marriage bed is, I believe, Song of Songs. And if you haven't read Song of Songs, and you're wondering how God views sex, then this is a great book for you to read. Yeah, so Song of Songs 1:16. How handsome you are, my lover. Oh, how charming, and our bed is verdant. So we have here in Hebrews 13:4, we need to honor the marriage bed and honor the marriage and keep the marriage bed pure. But then here in Song of Songs, it's saying our bed is verdant. The difference we see here is that Song of Songs is talking about your lover, your husband, or your wife, while Hebrews is talking about what happens before you get married. So before you get married, you should be keeping the marriage bed pure, and that just means abstaining. But once you are married, and you do have a lover, it says, how handsome you are, my lover, oh how charming, and our bed is verdant. I'm pretty sure verdant just means like fruitful. I'll pull the definition up just here. This is so fun. Just here. Okay. So yeah, God does not at all instruct us to abstain forever. He does not say sex is a sin, but he does say that sex before marriage is a sin, because we are not honoring God with our bodies, and we are partaking in this very selfish and self-driven act of lust. So yeah, and now some other things I want to read out of Song of Songs are chapter 1. Where is it? It was really like, oh here, chapter 1:12. While the king was at his table, my perfume spread its fragrance. My lover is to me a sachet of myrrh resting between my breasts. So that is not the only verse in this book, in Song of Songs, that is just so like sexual. This whole book talks about love and the marriage bed, and you'll see that sex and love aren't two separate themes, but they're actually one and the same. Sex is not had with someone that you don't love. It's had with someone that you do love. So you'll find that this whole book, it's really quite like I'll read some more. Okay, listen to this. I slept, but my heart was awake. Listen, my lover is knocking. Open to me, my sister, my darling, my dove, my flawless one. My head is drenched with dew, my hair with the dampness of the night. I have taken off my robe. Must I put it on again? I have washed my feet. Must I soil them again? My lover thrust his hand through the latch opening. My heart began to pound for him. I can't, oh my Lord. This is so like vivid, and the imagery is just so intense. And like, I recommend all of you to come and read this book, because it really makes you realize that sex isn't something that God condemns. It's not something that God discourages. It's the opposite. God encourages it, and he gave it to us so that we could pleasure our partners and have that experience of love with our partners. Like literally, I'm saying that because there's a whole book in the Bible on it, on love. So yeah, sex is not something that you should feel ashamed about. It is merely something that you should experience with one man or one woman. I don't know your gender. Yeah, so that's why you should be waiting till marriage. And Yeah.